Hey guys, we are live on LinkedIn. I came into the office today and we have no power, so might as well just open up the live LinkedIn that we just had and do a video. So I had the best intentions today. I got up real early, went to the store, um, took care of everything, and we have no power. So I did get two of my estimates out, which is cool, but not much of anything else. So one thing I want to say is, if you're still looking for here's my sales pitch. If you're still looking for a gift for somebody who's hard to shop for, do you guys know we offer a painter for a day? It's a great gift for somebody who is just completely hard to shop for, has everything, and typically it's going to be over $500 for us to do this. We are having a special for you guys for LinkedIn. It's $425 for a painter for a day. They'll come out and paint anything they can do in that day. Typically, it's a small bedroom, 8 by 10. They can do the walls, maybe paint some trim or some doors around the house, and take care of that. You supply the paint. We take care of everything else. We can send you a little nice certificate that you can give to them, or we can shoot them over an email saying what they received. So if you want that, I'll put the link in this video at some time. I don't think I have it up right here, but we don't. Actually, I wasn't prepared to do a video today, so that's why. But I'll get the link out to you. It'll be on my post later today. I apologize if my screen's bouncing around. Typically, I don't do the video on the actual camera that I'm using, but I'm kind of limited right now. So I just wanted to go over some painting questions. We're receiving a lot of questions, and they always typically are the same. So what better way to answer them but to do them right here. So again, if you don't know, we're on everything. Facebook, here's our Facebook right there. Twitter. Twitter is not so busy, but Twitter is great for news. I get a lot of information from there, as well as LinkedIn. Obviously LinkedIn. YouTube, if you don't know that we're on YouTube, we put a lot of videos up about a lot of different things. It could be about the painting industry, it could be about painting business, it could be about social media, anything that you want to know there. So let's dive into some questions. I wrote them down over here on my phone and see what's going on. So, interior painting. How do I select my colors for an interior painting job? And this is an important question because without the colors, we can't do your job. And actually, if we don't have the colors within 2 weeks of your job, we reschedule the job. So you can, I'm sure you can understand that creates a problem for some people. You know, as some people think everything should be handed to them, they don't get their colors in. We tell them we have to reschedule your project, and they throw a fit. So the way we handle it is typically we use Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams like everybody else. It depends on the job that we're doing, which paint that we use. We will, I like to use a color consultant to do our painting colors. I think it's a lot easier. We do not pick your colors for you. You don't want me picking your colors for you. That just will start up a whole can of worms. I don't want to go into there. I don't want to be responsible for your colors. And I'm not the best person to pick your colors. If you'd come to my house, you would see that I probably didn't pick the correct colors. That's why there's professional interior designers, color consultants. I mean, that's their job and that's what they do best. So we would like to send out a color consultant. We do that for any of our interior projects. And some of our exterior projects as well. We also can give you on exterior projects drawdowns. We can give you some, usually about 2 or 3 different ideas of what colors may look like. That's typically included on a full exterior paint job if it's written in your proposal. So it's the easiest way. Send out a color consultant, let them take care of it, and then we go from there. So that's the colors. That's how to pick your colors. You could have the paint stores do it. What we found is, and this is no offense to the paint stores, is typically they're not trained color consultants. I mean, they do have schools for this and things like that. So I would rather use an interior decorator, and that's what we like to do. We still will use the paint stores for certain things, not to say that they're bad at it. It's just we like to do a little bit differently. What time do your guys usually start? Well, that's variable, and it depends on what job it is. We like to work between 8 and 4:30 if it's a residential job, just so we don't bother anybody. It still gives you an opportunity to get everybody out of the house in the morning, and that we're gone by the time you come home. But sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's earlier. It's really dependent on the job. And that you should speak to the lead painter on the job site, not the office. If it's a commercial project and we're just open to coming in whenever we do, we will work with the facilities hours. If it's an exterior, nobody's bothering us and the weather cooperates, we will start as early as possible. Sometimes we have to start later just so the temperatures warm up. What is the time frame to complete my project? Okay, this is a good one, because nothing usually goes 100% as planned. Just like today, I came in, I have a million things to do that I would like to do, and I have no power. So that changes things. The guys might show up on a job and it rains for 2 hours in the morning, and then it's bright and sunny, but they had to leave because they can't just sit there. So you lost a day of painting when they went somewhere else. Or you show up and there's things in the way that you didn't anticipate, or somebody wakes up in the morning and they have a flat tire, car breaks down, their kids are sick, their dog is sick. I mean, things happen in the world. And you should be understanding of that. Typically what we find is there's a few people who are not understanding of that at all and expect everybody to be there every day no matter what, and they don't want any excuses at all. They're hard to work for, those people. So we give a roundabout time. It's based on the estimate, but you need some cushion on the back end of that. It could be quicker and it could be longer. So just have some patience. How many painters will be on site? So, great question. And I'll tell you my thoughts on this. My thoughts on this are to not send too many painters out to the job sites. And the reason being is what we found with our company and with many other companies that I work with, more does not equal faster. And I know there's companies out there who promise to get things painted in one day and will just throw out as many people as possible. And it sounds great. And guys, that's a sales pitch. That's not the real world. Number one, if you try to find 5 painters who are qualified to do a project and send them all to one project, what's happening on the other projects? Because there's not unlimited amount of qualified painters out there. So typically with the companies that are sending out a whole bunch of people to get your project done in one day, you might have one qualified painter there and the rest are just hands. And what I mean by that is people they've hired just off the street, no experience, and that one painter is trying to manage all of them at one time. So what we like to do is send the appropriate amount of people there, but typically 1 or 2 painters, 1 or 2 qualified painters to do the project, so it goes as planned, and we can manage the quality. So the quality is more important generally than let's just get in and get it done, unless you're talking about a facility that needs to get you in and get it out so they can go back to business, or unique situations. You have a party coming up or something like that. Do we spackle nail holes, etc.? Well, of course we do. It's dependent on the job that you chose. So we do a general spackling. So what does general spackling mean? It means if I stand in the middle of the room I'm in right now, and I look around, I'm going to spackle the things I can see from the middle of the room. We're not going to go and put my face right up against the wall and look for every little ding and dent. That's a different type of prep. And as long as you tell me that or tell the estimator that while they're on site, not a problem. The problem starts when we've estimated it for the job, and on the estimate you told us that, hey, just spackle it, we don't care what it looks like, and then we show up to the job and then here comes out a halogen flashlight and everybody's all over the wall, putting tape all over the wall. It's just not the job that you paid for. So we like to give you the job that's in your budget that you paid for. Let's see what else. Scheduling, that's a good one. Scheduling is so hard. It's so hard for the painting industry. Again, We deal with this all the time. So the way that we schedule, and the best way we found with the least amount of complaints, is when you approve your job, we give you a broad date, a month. So if we're in December now, heading into January, if you would get a job from us right now, we would say, okay, we can do your job sometime in January. Is that good for you? And then again, like I said, if there's no parties coming up, or you don't need this done at a certain time, because let's face it, there's not that many painting emergencies. That should be fine for mostly everybody. It's not for everybody though. Once we get closer to your job, we'll try to keep in touch and say, okay, it looks like you're coming up in the next 2 weeks, or you're coming up in the next week. Things happen and we call you up and say, hey, we had somebody cancel, or somebody is sick and we can't go to their job. Do you want us to start tomorrow? So we'll do that a lot. Again, it's not for everybody, but trust me, it's the best way to do it to keep everybody as happy as can be. The schedule is fluid, and that's a good way to put it. There is no way to be regimented on a schedule for a contracting business unless you have an unlimited amount of qualified people. And I work with a lot of painting companies and know a lot of them. There's not an unlimited amount of painters out there. What happens after I clicked, I want to accept my job? Okay, what happens is you should have now received a bunch of emails with videos in them explaining this whole process. We like to explain everything, the whole step of the way. By the time your job starts, the only reason you don't know what's going on is you didn't read or watch those videos. So after the job is won, what typically happens is everybody in the company is going to get an email saying that you accepted your job. Tanya takes over from there. She is the project manager. She is the person that you want to be nice to and talk to and be in touch with after you click accept. So she's going to schedule your color consultant if you have one, or send you over the color sheet that we use. She's going to give you your estimated tentative schedule date. She's going to talk to the painters who are going to be doing your job. She's going to facilitate the ordering of the paint. She is the person. At that point, your estimator is out. I don't handle any of the day-to-day stuff. I am involved in the estimate process usually, although we are looking for a salesperson if anybody knows anybody. And then I'm working on a couple other ventures that we do, our epoxy floors, and some marketing business that I'm working with my son right now. So you could probably catch me on the street and ask me what's going on with your job, and I would have no idea. That's a good thing. I mean, if I knew every single job that's going on, I mean, it would be impossible. Sometimes we have, 10, 12 jobs going on at one time. For me, you want somebody who is just eating, breathing, and sleeping jobs, not me. It would probably take me a week or so to get back to you about your job, and I would have to go to Tanya anyway, so that's who you want to go to. I think I answered that question. Prep. This is exterior painting. This is an area that comes up a lot. So, and I'll tell you why it comes up a lot is whenever we have an issue on an exterior project, it's because the person I did the estimate for, or whoever did the estimate for, was not at the estimate. And I don't mean not physically there. I mean not either mentally there or physically there. That's typically we'll get, hey, can you drive by my house and give me an estimate? Or they'll open up the door and say, oh yeah, paint the exterior of my house. Or we'll walk through and they'll say, okay, yeah, paint the siding, paint the trim, and there's not a detailed discussion of the prep. It's very important, especially on old houses that have wood trim and wood siding, that we talk about prep, because we do our jobs by preservation. There's preservation and there's restoration, and they're two different jobs. And if you get 3 different estimates, which everybody seems like they feel that they have to get, and you have all kinds of different pricing, this could be your issue, is the prep. Preservation, we're preserving these surfaces. We're not stripping them. We're not power sanding them. They're not going to go back down to completely smooth. But that's a whole different job. That's an expensive job. What we're doing is preserving the wood. We want to preserve the wood. So you're still going to see different levels of paint from over the years. You're gonna see those hills and valleys, but the surface should be tight. If we scrape down to bare wood, it should be primed. We typically like to use an oil-based primer, and then we top coat it from there. But you're gonna see different variations of surfaces. This typically is good for most jobs, for people who have a budget and just don't want to spend a gabillion dollars trying to strip a whole home. So remember, preservation on your estimates, you really have to meet the person that is going to be painting your house, and we want to meet the person who is going to be critiquing the house, and I want to hear their expectations. I have to hear the expectations to know what's going on. I skipped over to exterior, but this is for exterior or interior. The final walkthrough. So it's important to not waste time. The guy should be talking to you throughout the whole process. Guys or girls should be talking to you throughout the whole painting process. It's okay to tell them to point out little things here and there. I mean, try not to do it every hour of the day. It gets to be a little monotonous. And me, when I was painting, I would like to do my touch-ups at the end of the job. I don't want to be doing touch-ups every day. There's going to be touch-ups. No matter how many times you look at something, I can look in this room and know that I'm going to have touch-ups. I'm going to do them at the end of the job. But if I'm picking things out every day, the job's going to take me forever. So I want to go through and do my due diligence the first time through, do my patching, my spackling, my priming, my painting, and then I want to grab the person we're working for after I've done my own touch-ups, and I want them to walk through and point out anything that they are concerned with, because I want to take care of it now. We don't want to leave the job and have to come back. We don't want to do that. It costs money. It's costing the painters money. It's costing us money. It's causing the homeowner to come back out again if they had to be at work. We want to get that on that last day of the job. And they should be having you sign like a completion form. Everything's done to my perfection. Everything was cleaned up. They've left touch-up paint, the whole nine. Exterior work, weather issues. I mean, guys, we live in the Northeast, so we're dealing with weather. I think the power just came on. We're dealing with weather. So with weather is rain, snow, sun sometimes plays a factor, moisture, the dew in the morning, fog. I mean, there's a lot of things we deal with in our area of the woods. So you have to understand that we deal with this every day. You might wake up and see it's sunny outside and your painters aren't there. And now they should have explained why they aren't there, but there could be a very good reason, and it's probably weather related or surface related. We're dealing not only with weather, but the temperatures in the air, atmospheric temperatures, and also the surface temperatures, which are more important. So we could be in summer, it could be beautiful outside, but we're painting a metal roof, and we've seen temperatures on metal roofs over 130 degrees, which we can't paint, but it's still nice outside. Let's see what else we got now that we have power. We can jump into some epoxy if we want to talk about epoxy. Epoxy floors, we've been doing a lot of epoxy floors. If you guys are looking for epoxy floors, we're doing residential garages, commercial facilities, manufacturing, food, and it runs the gamut of what we can offer. So epoxy flakes, you'll see them, those little flakes that are sprinkled on garage floors. They come in partial flakes, full flakes, different sizes. We have done a bunch of quartz floors. We just actually did a quartz floor for a warehouse where they put snowplows on top of that we had to put a lift on. The lift is different levels. I can't remember how many we did. It was a lot. 3 or 4 lifts of quartz and sand on top of that to make it withstand the weight of the machines. Question is, when can I dry back on my floor? So that depends on the material that we're using. So if it's a garage floor, typically 72 hours, but we also have other materials that we can get back on that floor the next day. It's going to be a little more expensive. The materials are more expensive, but it does help go a little quicker. And when you see people say one-day floors, in theory it's a one-day floor, but if there's a lot of prep and grinding, sometimes it's a day and a half, just so you know. Speaking of warranties, I've been going out doing epoxy floors, and I'm hearing some crazy warranties. And after I've read through them, and some clients will actually give me the other company's proposals. Just so you understand, when you see these long-term warranties, the warranties are for adhesion. That's what they're warranting. Same as us, we're warranting adhesion. It's very rare that you're going to have an adhesion problem unless like prep was completely skipped. I can show you a picture. I don't think I have it on here, but I'll put it up later, of one job we went to where the previous contractor did zero prep onto a sealed concrete floor, and I could literally pull the epoxy off with my hand. That's adhesion. Adhesion is not you're driving onto it all the time and you're leaving your hot tires on it, you drop the wrench on it and it chipped. Those things are going to happen. That's use and abuse. Nobody's going to warranty that. They're also not going to warranty cracking. Foundations are going to move. They're not going to warranty any moisture issues. So just so you know, when you start to compare warranties, people could tell you they have a lifetime warranty. It's on adhesion. And what happens when they come back out for a warranty claim, and you've had a hole in your floor that way, they're not going to do redo the whole floor. They're going to do that little circle right there. Will it blend into the other areas? Maybe not, but that's what happens. Metallic floors. What are metallic floors? Well, I love metallic floors. I would actually do one in my garage, but the design I want to do doesn't correlate with that metallic floor at the moment. So we're going to be doing a flaked floor at my garage with a logo embedded in it. Metallic floors are epoxy with metallic pigments mixed into them, and it moves around, it flows with the epoxy, and it can create like amazing results. We're going to be doing a bunch of samples in the next couple weeks of epoxy metallic floors. Actually, there's a video up that you can check out on YouTube, which is right here. Go to our YouTube and look at the metallic floor samples. I mean, they're crazy. You can do one color, you can do multiple colors, you can do anything you can think of is able to be done with metallic floors. Will the floor be slippery? Well, we would like to put aggregate into the floor, which is, could be sand, silica, something into the floor. So when that floor gets wet and you're stepping out of your car, you don't go flying. So yeah, we would like to put something in the floor. We don't want to leave a floor bare. Some way, somehow, we need to make that floor anti-slip. Will you patch the cracks? Well, that depends on the job that you've signed up for. When you're typically using flakes, we can hide a lot of those things while keeping the cost down for you, so we can get to the budget that you want to use. You still, if you look hard enough, you still may see where the cracks were. But usually we fill those cracks with a really fast drying epoxy filler, and we can grind over top of those and make it smooth. So again, it goes back to what the job is that you've signed up for, and just make sure that you talk to us on the estimate, and we've explained things clearly. We're not trying to hide anything. And that's it. So that's it, guys. I just want to stop in today, do a quick chat. I'm using my LinkedIn Live, which works perfectly. If you have any questions, just shoot them down below. I can't see them live. I wish I could, but we can go from there. All right, I'll talk to you. Have a great day. If I don't talk to you before the holidays, have a great holiday and a Merry Christmas.